Historically, Obamacare had 9 million people on it. 9 million people. This year, over 23 million people apparently signed up.
Blaming the Biden administration.
You walk 20 minutes a day. Just that by itself, just by that is $100 billion of savings for the healthcare system.
I want to jump into some more MAGA mayhem with Dr. Oz on Fox News just spewing lies about health insurance and health in general. So spam that like button. We're shooting for 60 by tonight. Subscribe and comment for the algorithm. I'm probably glistening at this point because the AC stuff, if you weren't watching yesterday, my AC is broken. But either way, we'll get straight down to the breakdown.
Historically, Obamacare had 9 million people on it. 9 million people. This year, over 23 million people apparently signed up. But of the people who signed up, 40% never used the insurance. Let me ask you a question, John. You have health insurance. Do you use it once a year? Buy a prescription, you go visit a doctor, call somebody?
If I don't use it once a day, it's pretty infrequent.
Well, in Obamacare right now, 40% of the people ostensibly signed up never use the insurance. So it raises, again, the reality that there are many people who are signed up who are getting paid for but don't believe they have the insurance, don't know they have insurance, didn't want the insurance. And these brokers are able to make a ton of money off the American taxpayer. So, of course, the Democrats are arguing aggressively that any people who leave Obamacare is only happening because of the enhanced premium subsidies that were put in place for a short period of time during COVID by the Democrats. That's not right. The reality is we have a lot of fake people on the policies. We want them off because they don't want the insurance. They're covered elsewhere, or at least they never wanted to be in this program. If they want other ones, it's fine. And we're going to get to the bottom of this. And what Secretary Kennedy announced on this video is really critical. Yeah. 1 million people with fake Social Security numbers, that's an insult to the American people. We're not going to tolerate it.
This is a hilarious way to say we have no evidence. Like, again, if there was this massive fraud, they could give numbers, specific examples, and more. It wouldn't be this vague, well, this doesn't make sense. It must be fraud. Like, take car insurance, for instance. I've had car insurance for a decade and never used it. Like, does this mean I'm a fake person enrolled? Clearly doesn't. The purpose of Obamacare is for this to exist, to mix high-risk, high-usage people with low-risk, low-usage to mediate the cost for those on the expensive end of the spectrum. So, like, for every person like the host who says, I use my health insurance daily, well, there's some 20-year-old that is fit that rarely goes to the doctor and has literally no prescriptions. I was that. Like, I was insured through my mom's insurance from 18 to 25, 26. And I maybe went to the doctor twice. Again, they have to manufacture angles to sell fraud as a concept because they don't have anything concrete to point to.
They had promised to the American people they were going to give everyone insurance. They ended up giving people who don't want the insurance coverage because they were covered elsewhere. They also now are manufacturing people's names and not minding it all that much. So we have a crisis on fraud. We need to get the American people to believe in these systems again. The way to do it is how the president's doing it. You appoint a task force that J.D. Vance is leading. This anti-fraud task force of the White House is going to use an all-of-government approach. All of us chip in our own ways. So if I've got an observation that's clearly fraudulent, I can quickly call Treasury, have them trace the money, figure out money laundering. I can call Department of Justice, get them to actually take action and taking out these fraudsters. But I can give American people confidence that with $100 billion to root out, and we see it as our primary duty, we're going to get to the bottom.
All right. If it wasn't for conservatives, we would have. Obamacare was originally going to be universal. It was going to have a public option that could have insured everyone. And Republicans, as well as conservative Democrats, who in today's climate would be Republicans, some of whom now identify that way, refused to allow it to pass in that manner. A big problem in our healthcare system is literally the complexity of it. The overhead is so enormous because we have all these private insurances fighting for control of the market with, of course, only one seller in big pharma, allowing a consolidated monopolized effect on prices, which is constantly rising with no real competition. We pay more in administrative costs than any other country, and we do so by a wide margin. That alone contributes to billions upon billions wasted that could be done away with by creating a single payer system, which would also pull away the monopoly effect of big pharma, give more negotiating power in form of a monopsony for the government, but that dips into corporate profits, which Republicans just can't allow.
Eat real food that comes out of the ground looking the way it looks when you eat it. It's a simple message, very affordable, by the way, and that will dramatically change your chance of becoming obese. Obesity is the single biggest driver of health problems in the healthcare system. It leads to hypertension and problems with your kidneys and your liver and all kinds of downstream problems from those issues, all addressable. And here's the big tip. You walk 20 minutes a day. Just that by itself, just by that is $100 billion of savings for the healthcare system, and you feel better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and those pancakes this morning, they came out right out of the ground.
This argument is way overblown. I mean, what he's saying specifically has no basis, but it's essentially America doesn't have a healthcare problem, it has an obesity or health problem, and however they want to frame it. But it's just wrong. Americans don't receive more healthcare than other comparable countries, they just spend more on equatable things when they use it, for administrative costs, prescriptions, primary care, and more. A lot of the cost passed on to consumers is this administrative overhead, the billing, the coding, the processing, and insurer-provider negotiations that have nothing to do with health, of which we pay around 8 times more than the next closest country. We have also more consolidation of hospitals on a local level. 1 or 2 systems often own a majority, if not practically all of the hospital beds and providers. This again creates that sort of monopolized effect that allows for higher prices. Socialized systems, a public option, it all addresses this, while obesity, walking for 20 minutes, doesn't.
Blaming the Biden administration for taking guardrails off of these programs, which just let all the fraudsters roar in.
It continues today, but I'll tell you, as the person who runs the agency, they decimated the program integrity group. There were 6 people, 6 people in the entire group at CMS that's patrolling Medicaid, and that's a tiny number of individuals for $1 trillion program. You would wonder what happened. What happened, you ask the folks, they'll tell you, they were told during the Biden administration not to worry about fraud, just focus on enrolling more people.
Yeah.
And got so bad that in the last year of the Biden administration, they took 12 million people off themselves because they didn't actually have the insurance, want the insurance, need the insurance. So the Democrats now are in a bit of a bind. They had promised to the American people they were going to give everyone insurance.
Yeah, guys, Biden made it easier to get health insurance, which must mean that everyone who got it is now fraudulent. The truth is, again, our system is already overburdened with paperwork, each bit of complexity acting as another hurdle to actually get to the end goal of care, where just like running on a track, for each hurdle you place, well, less people are going to make it to the end, where the goal should be getting everyone to the finish line, right? It's this weird thing, though, where the right, once again, just sees it as some vehicle for profit rather than a necessity for life. Like, we're talking about something that is truly make or break for people. Primary care shows lives, preventative care saves lives, and many people never get that because of a lack of insurance, too many hurdles, or high cost barriers. And of course, the out-of-pocket costs are a possibility, which leaves more severe complications down the line in an emergency situation, which makes these corporations even more money, which is probably why MAGA is fond of the system as is, if we're being honest.